Boom! Welcome. We are live. I'm setting up the DJ equipment in advance today because I have had trouble with the music with the after parties recent weeks. So yeah, here it is. I'm just going to do the shows like this. This makes everything much easier. Welcome. My name is Hiko Simon. This is Tokyo Tonight. Great to see every. Oh, I've just realized this is using. Wow, my arms I look like I'm from Close Encounters of the Third Kind with my arms here. It's using the other camera. I was thinking, wow, this looks awesome. This looks just like my DJ setup. It does. I mean, tell me, do you prefer with the 0.5 times extended long arms, or I should probably use the other camera, which is over. Oops, there it is. This is the Tokyo Tonight camera. Yeah, that's probably a bit more appropriate. Actually, I'm really well lit. I mean, it's the iPhone, actually. So there's a question for everybody. Which camera do you like better? In fact, you know what? I could just make the regular camera without the extended, distorted angle. And hell, maybe I should just make my iPhone the regular camera. If I take out the ultra-wide field of view, sorry, nothing ever went wrong when I played with the technical settings at the start of the show. Let's try this. Do you prefer this? You can actually see me over there. That's the camo controller for this for the iPhone camera. So if I do this, okay, so that's the problem. Without the ultra wide, I can't fit the camera on the desk, and this camera is in the way. I can't fit everything in. Although this is amazing quality, isn't it? I mean, the iPhone sensor is so much better than the web phone sensor, which is probably why I pay. You know what? If I just do this like this, I mean, it's kind of cozy. Yeah, it's a bit too cozy. Yeah, maybe if I raise the desk up. This kind of works. I'll have to lower it when I do the DJ show, but at least this way my head gets in. Wow, this is actually not bad. Comments. I'm looking at the comments right now. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the comment and the camera and the perspective of always, or do you like this, you know, closed in a high resolution box and with bright colors mode? Because I really like how this looks. Plus, I kind of like you can see the DJ stuff here. PB, Easter special pre-party. I should have called it Easter special pre-party. It's one thing about being in Japan is that you completely forget that it's Easter except for other people. Yeah, people like this look. I went and did a whole bunch of online shopping today, including getting like an adapter that I can put my iPhone on the monitor, like where I have the where I have 420. Distracted by DJ Sunday side up. It is 420 today, which of course everybody knows is the holiest day. If you worship the Ethiopian Emperor Rastafari, who encouraged partaking in all of the herbs of God, which some people in some parts of the world took to following with. Yeah, I mean that's a whole thing actually. Rastafari's awesome, by the way. We actually learned all about him in international law. For various reasons. I don't know why I think about that on 420, April 20, but yes, happy 420 to all of you. The holiest day indeed. Well, the holiest, I mean, is the one day that Catholics and stoners can all agree on something, perhaps. So yes, let's go. Who is in the chat? I mean, I'm taking comments. Do people like this camera? Because honestly, I'm just looking at it right now, and this is like so much better than the webcam. I'm going to flip one more time, and then, I don't know, I should set up a poll or something, but I'll just take votes in the comments. Just spam me with comments. Which one do you like? Do you like this one? Or do you like the regular, this one? This is the camera mounted on top of my monitor. I'll actually close this one so that you can see the Tokyo Tonight logo. This is the regular setup. It actually is a bit darker. I don't know. I'm really liking the iPhone camera one. We have new one. Hi, Zombie Jesus. Yes, indeed. DJ Sunny Side Up votes for world peace. We all do. Unfortunately, that's not going very democratically at the moment. I see 2 votes. Have I considered a special text stream? Everyone is a special text stream. One more vote, and then I'm going back to the topics. But okay, I have 2 votes to 0 anyway to stick with the new camera. Better color, better angle. Okay. Well, I'm going to go this way, which means in order to see the comments, I'm going to stick this. I'm going to have to reconfigure my windows, which again, nothing ever went badly when I changed my windows around. So let's put the comments right here beside the camera so that I'm actually looking at you while I'm talking to you. And yeah, anyway, thank you for joining me for the pre-party. It is a thing. Actually, I have to admit, by the way, while we're still talking technical stuff, every week, I love doing the after party, but it goes until like 1:30. And I actually, when I really enjoy it, and I really, really do enjoy it, which is why I do it, I really enjoy the music that you guys recommend and mixing my own music with it, but I get all excited. So it's 1:30, so it finishes at like 12:30 p.m., but I don't get to sleep before like 1:30 whenever I do that. And then I have Monday morning at work, and I've got to be like on my game, and I'm basically destroyed every Monday morning lately. That combined with the complete tech disaster last week, which by the way, I figured out, I'm sort of thinking of shortening the after party, honestly, keeping that to 45 minutes, which I apologize, but at the same time, I'm not really finding the time that I used to find to do my streams of my own music. So actually something like the pre-party that I did tonight, it means I'm set up properly in advance, and I can be much more relaxed in the after party, and I can satisfy myself with playing my own music, which get that out of my system so I can play all of your requests. So I think I'm going to switch around the system with the pre and the after. I'm going to set up a pre-party and do an after party and do all of that. I'm enjoying that a lot. But in order to keep it fun without like, it's like going out drinking, it's a lot of fun, but the next morning, I can't handle my Monday mornings as well as I used to. So anyway, I'm going to do some shake-ups there, but let's see who's in the chat. We've got DJ Sunny Side Up is first. We got Dan. We've got, who else we got in here? We got, by the way, Dan is enjoying a reverse-seared Australian Tajima Wagyu sirloin with a rating of BMS 8. I don't know what BMS 8 means, but everything else on there just sounds wonderful. So, yeah. And by the way, I think Dan H suggesting we should have a fitness training pre-stream. I'm not actually against that. I mean, I've been doing like a lot of stuff on that sort of front lately. I'm going to raise this up a little bit so my hair's not cutting off, and I'll just look straight at you this way. So yeah, I mean, I'm starting a new regime. I've gone from the marathon training, which I actually really did enjoy. But it takes a real toll on the body, like the knees and the legs and everything. I got through it pretty well, but now I'm switching to what everyone says I should do, which is, building the guns. Tell me if you notice any difference. I've never had any I've always been basically, I mean, I look like the camera is like angled to make me look long and skinny, even when it's like in normal perspective. I've never actually had any upper body to speak of. So I'm going to try some weights and stuff. And I'm actually, and also because I'm incredibly inflexible, I am also doing some stretching lately. I've been asked if I have a medical condition. I can barely touch my knees. I can't even sit like on the ground, like unsupported. So I'm actually kind of doing some stuff. I mean, I'm getting to the point now where, when you in your late 40s, getting close to 50, small things, you start to realize, oh, geez, I'd better get this in order or else I'm going to be screwed. Like stuff which you don't have to worry about, earlier on. So actually a fitness training pre-stream, I could talk about that anytime. I've been like trying and learning a lot of things, and I am actually in really good shape right now. I'm in the best shape I've been in, frankly, since I was at university, actually, maybe even before university. I didn't do this much exercise at university, maybe like high school by some metrics. Like my fitness level right now is actually insane. I'm actually completely off the the VO2 max scale. So yeah, I'm kind of, trying to get my health in order because from here on out, I've started to learn like injuries and illnesses, they as you get older, they start to take, longer to recover. And I'm seeing Victor, who's not 10, but he's more than 5 years older than me. And, he's doing all the right things, and even he's having some struggles with some injuries and stuff. So yeah, I'm actually seriously doing the fitness thing lately. And Dan H, what you're eating right now, I have no idea what BMS 8 is, but that sounds not only delicious, but it's actually like what the current wisdom is. You should just be eating like whole foods and meat. Like that's like the best thing you can do in terms of regular meat. So you're doing it all right there. So do enjoy that, Dan H. Kerberos Tenchi, that was a squirrel. Kerberos Tenchi, fourth again. It's not a race. I'm glad that you made it, Mr. Cordy Chair. Been here fifth. We got Sadiq made it in at sixth, I guess, although who's counting? The fun pre-party. It was a fun pre-party. Thank you for coming and keeping me company. All that music I bought in the last 2 weeks, and it's awesome, right? I think I'm pretty good at finding good music. I flip through hundreds of tracks every week, and I'm looking for anything that's just got a don't like a proper but not just a don't. It's got to have the hi-hat and the snare. It's got to have the tss as well. It's a pretty simple formula, but I'm going through and I'm listening to most tracks only for 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm like, how can you screw this up? Although, of course, they're not making musically personally for me, but it means I pick out tracks that I like the sound of and that blend well when I mix them. I think of how it's going to sound when it mixes. And that mix just now, I mean, I was like mashing and playing around with them. Most of them I'd only just bought this afternoon and had not listened to again. And it was the first time that I heard them was this afternoon. They're pretty good. So anyway, have a lot of fun with that. I think the pre-party is provided home affairs are in order that I can do it. I will do that in future weeks anyway. Yes, we have Lara in here. Glad that you enjoyed that. That was fun. We have, what else we got in here? Much easier with the setup definitely as well. I always get a bit of a heart attack switching over, trying to set all this equipment up and all the things that can go wrong with it. Definitely better to set up in advance and just leave it here from the mainstream. We're 10 minutes in. We're going to go, DJ Sunnyside Up is speaking Italian, and Lara is completely agreeing with him. We've got from Finland, we've got some Finnish. We got all the languages. Yoni, great to have you in here. Moi, right back at you. Good to have you in here. We've got PB, Easter, yes, Easter special pre-party. I think I mentioned last week in Japan how it's like, I have my mum call me up sometimes and it's like, so do you get Easter in Japan? I'm like, why would we get Easter in Japan? Like, do you get Emperor's birthday in Australia? They should. if certain events 70 to 80 years ago had gone differently, maybe Australia would be celebrating Emperor's birthday. But no, the result is due to events that happened about 300 or 400 years ago, Japan does not celebrate Easter, and events that happened 70 to 80 years ago, Australia does not celebrate Emperor's birthday. And it's okay. You don't have to celebrate all the birthday, but all the holidays. But it is funny how, and I suppose in Japan, I mean, not a lot of open celebration of 420 Day either. But if that's your thing, I mean, I've talked about that subject before as well. The emperor used to be the patron of the hemp industry. Hemp, different, but kind of similar. Complicated topic, but there we go. Bright colors better, Mr. Cordy Chip. So I'm sticking with the bright colors. You can look at that, my eyes. Wow, you can see my eye color. You can make out that I didn't shave properly today. Man, yeah, the sensor on the iPhone is just like so much better. I don't know if it's good that you can see me more clearly or not, but yes, indeed, this definitely looks better. We've got Aaron, boom, exploding all over there, saying hello. Great to have you in here as always. Hope everyone is doing well. The holiest day indeed. Quint Ranked, have I ever considered a special tech stream? Like I say, every week, as you know, is a tech / mental health stream. And some weeks go better than others. What can I say? Going relatively well today. Well, I mean, sometimes you have happy accidents and sometimes you have terrible accidents. So what can we do? Everybody going up there. We got voting for world peace. And, there's more comments in here. There's more people. I've got just 2 bananas. Can you see my bananas? Oh, yes, I literally have 2 bananas left. Was that in the shot before? Yes. Show you something awesome. Very observant. Yes, I have 2 bananas left. They started out as 5. Good source of magnesium. I've been all this fitness regime. I've been getting like cramps and stuff. At work, person sitting next to me had a banana case. This is Japan relevant, by the way. This is important. So yeah, this is not a squirrel chase. She had a banana case. I'm like, what are you doing with a banana? Like, it's bad enough in Japan that they wrap them in like cellophane and, the plastic and everything. But on top of that, you have a banana. It's ridiculous. I mean, it looks cute and adorable. This one has minions on it. But come on, what are you doing? And the bananas really fit in. And she told me, changed her life. She got this thing because it means that you can put the banana in your bag and take it to work every day and it won't get like crushed in your bag or on the Yamanote line, which is kind of a concern, frankly. I ride the Yamanote line a lot of days. So after first like laughing and mocking and, that's so ridiculous. And I'm like, well, maybe that is a good idea. And then day after day, seeing the banana case and slowly becoming jealous, I paid like 100 yen and I ordered one and it's changed my life. It's like washlet toilets, right? It doesn't make any sense and is funny at first, but like most things in Japan, the more you The surprise and shock gives way to, wait a minute, that makes sense. And now I'm a complete convert. And it is actually amazing how standardized the shape of bananas are. I mean, I think they are all clones or something, that they all pretty much fit inside there. So I have 2 bananas and a banana case, and I am set for life. There will be an after party, Sadiq, and it'll be for requests. So I've gotten playing my own music out of my system, although I do like to mesh with my own tracks. But yes, the after party is for you guys, but it will be shortened because I've been dead every Monday lately. I enjoy the after parties too much, and it stops me being able to sleep. My heart rate goes up. I get all excited and happy, and I can't sleep. I'm like a kid before Christmas, only it's after Christmas. And I've been doing the after party with you guys, so I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to finish it a little bit earlier. But if you got your request, I know you had the request list last week, and we didn't get to it this week. Sadiq, I'm just the DJ. You are the master of ceremonies. We're going to get through all your requests. Shubhas, glad that you made it. Oh my God, from Panama. I hope you're having a beautiful coffee on this beautiful Panama morning. I hope it's also a beautiful Panama morning and not like a rainy or too hot one. I'm talking to a friend in India. It's already getting up to 40 degrees in Delhi at the moment, and they reckon this year they're gonna have some 50-degree plus days. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't get that bad in Panama. But do enjoy that. Yeah, big X the Plug was a nice choice. Yeah, was it? That's right. It was a new track. But I heard it. I liked it. The BPM was good. I used it. So there you go. Mainstream, but keeps the integrity of old school Texas. I guess he shoots a few. I don't think there's any politically correct way to finish that sentence. Outlaws. He shoots a few outlaws. I think that's the old school Texas way of handling things. Did I ever forget that it was a plastic case and try peeling it open? No, I'm not that far gone yet. I think I could rob a bank with this. I mean, who knows? What's the alternative? Getting old sucks. It does suck. But yes, yeah. So, just try to do it in as graceful a way as possible, which isn't very much. But yes, there we go. All current bananas on regular market are clones. That's right. And they're not even like the best banana. It's a bit sad. The best bananas are basically like gone. And now we're like going through because of that fungus or whatever it is, right? Anyway, Tokyo bananas. If you come to Tokyo, bananas are actually domestically, or at least banana products are the main thing that you get in domestic tourism if you visit Tokyo. I don't know why. It's a thing. Anyway, we have topics. We are 17 minutes in. I'm sure you want to hear what's been going on in Japan. The world, as usual. I almost I don't know. The world is a terrible reality show, and honestly, and not even a very good one. The thing about terrible reality shows, Larry, then you don't understand. People in Korea understand. Every time I go to Korea, they're like, bring me the Tokyo banana. And even in Singapore, they're like, bring me the Tokyo banana. I am evangelizing. Plus, it makes it really easy to get souvenirs. Although when I was at Haneda, I was outraged. They were sold out of Tokyo banana. The word is getting around. And if you don't want them, that's okay. It's more for everyone else. But yeah, topics this week. The world is not even like bad reality shows are still like compelling to watch, right? You watch it for the badness, but this is just like, not bad meaning good, but bad meaning bad. The opposite of what Run DMC said. So yeah, it's I won't ask how you know what rotten bananas taste like, but there we go. On topics, we're going to get past the bananas. We're going to make it in. The topics that we have: Meiwaku tourists, U.S. trade negotiations. The big topic this week is Trump is bigly doing a deal, the best deal. Everybody says it's the greatest deal, the biggest deal with Japan. They're negotiating at the moment. And, we'll get to that. Jar Jar Binks, the topic you've always wanted me to talk about. There's a reason for me to talk about it, and all sorts of other stuff. And actually, Mr. Cordychep, thank you. Banana cake is the best cake. Wait. The banana conversation's going out of control here. You're the best. Help me. Save me from the bananas. The bananas are going out of control. But I have to stop because Mr. Cordychep is exactly correct. Overripe and rotten bananas go into banana cake, which is, aside from pavlova, which was invented in New Zealand, Mr. Cordychep, the greatest cake. Banana cake. Banana cake is the best thing. And banana bread, which is the best thing with coffee. It is just amazing. And so, yeah, the world, I let these bananas get like this. In fact, they can go even browner as far as I'm concerned. Banana bread is just, yes. Bananas are awesome. Aaron's favorite is rum cake with coconut. Uh, Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Not my. I like coconut. But I can see where you're going, and that is okay. Frozen banana. Everybody's definitely going with the banana conversation. Maybe I need to change. This is like Tokyo banana tonight. Note to self: try banana cake with coffee. Yuri, the best. Yes, believe me, try it and come back and tell me what you think. It changed my life. Possibly will be responsible. If I get diabetes, it will be because of that. Okay, so into the topics. If we can ever start. Jar Jar Binks. I know you've been wanting me to talk about Jar Jar Binks all this time, and I haven't really had a good reason to do it. I do. And I can even tie it to Japan. So bear with me here. First of all, foreign tourists are dickheads. Victor has put out a video, and I don't like to do this. We've had our Johnny Somalis, we've had all these people, and even saying their name is like, they're doing it for attention. So even when you're doing it to condemn them, they want you to condemn them. So like, my view is just don't even give them that, right? Don't even say their stupid name. However, Victor did publicly kind of request to fight this guy who's some tourist in Japan who gets a big speaker, and he goes onto trains and stuff and starts playing this massive like portable speaker. The speaker itself, I must admit, I mean I think it's I'd like to try playing it with the after party and everything, but he goes onto trains and starts playing it and pissing everybody off and getting chased off the trains. And just being a dickhead, basically being a Meiwaku, being an annoying piece of crap. And there's more and more, of these streamers that Japan is cheap. The flights are cheap. It's easy to get here. Everyone's coming here. Everyone's streaming on Instagram. And it's like, hey, in Japan, everybody's like so polite and rule following that you can be a dick to anyone. And you're probably not going to get shot and beaten up like you would in America. So you should go to Japan and be like a dick. It's the message they're putting out onto the internet. And no. And, Victor is volunteering to be the American lynch mob that Japan, is not providing. There is a thing in Japan, by the way, if you really do to carry it too far, like Johnny Somali did, there's a thing, Gyomu Bogai, which is interruption of operations of a business, which is when you make so much trouble that it just stops the regular running of a business, just by being an annoying dickhead, by playing sound or whatever, and not cooperating with leaving a restaurant. And the result of that is that you can actually be arrested for that stuff, which is just like a catch-all. That if the police will, especially the foreigners, will give you a lot. They'll give you a lot of leeway. They'll give you a lot of rope. But if you still want to push it all the way, and you think that you know your rights based on America or New Zealand or whatever system of law you're familiar with, your country probably, unless you're from Korea, does not have the law Gyomu Bogai, which is just interfering with running a business, which is basically a catch-all that the police can say they just don't like your face. You're just being a dick. You can be arrested in Japan. They don't arrest everybody who is a dick. They let people, I know people have gotten away for years. I'm not going to name names, but maybe you can guess. People have gotten away in Japan with acting like dickheads, for years, and so on in Japan. And Japan will let you do it to a degree, but like when you just go that 1 millimeter too far, and it's like those movies with the kid who gets pushed around too much and one day just snaps. That's the Japanese police, and if you do that, straight to jail. They will throw you straight to jail, and once you're in jail in Japan, you are fucked. You're fucked. You just don't want to deal with the police in that way. And this guy should go straight to jail. But if he doesn't go straight to jail, it's okay, because Victor wouldn't specify exactly what he would do, but he did clarify that he will end up going to jail if he ever comes across this guy dragging speakers onto trains and basically pissing everybody off and dancing and being a dickhead. Radri made a comment, Japan really needs to raise the yen again to get rid of these riffraff people, to which I remember even like 20 years ago talking about some wacky American tourists I saw who weren't complete dicks like this person. Even my American friends back then were saying, this is the problem. I mean, I think even in the 1990s, something like only like 10% of Americans actually had passports. And my American friends, the elitist and horrible thing to say, but it was hilarious. They said that when I talk about the, Americans giving the country a bad reputation abroad, that's this is the problem with affordable air travel. I suggest that maybe, if America really wants to, improve its relations with other countries, and perhaps they need to raise the tariff on passports by 10,000%. I don't know. Maybe that would discourage Kiddo with the speaker from getting on the MNLT line. It would probably penalize a bunch of other people who don't believe it. But yes, Radri's saying the yen is going up at the moment. Japan is becoming less affordable. Yeah, it does of course piss people off when people come and take advantage of the niceness here. So yes. People are talking, wow, I'm seeing banana stuff. Okay, I've got to catch up on the banana stuff. Aaron's dad makes a great banana walnut bread that sounds delicious. They make great banana walnut muffins at the bread place near my house that I like to go to. Frozen banana shakes. Wow, that sounds like wow, everybody's going bananas here. I always try to make sure everybody does that. Go Philippines, locking up Vitali. I've heard of Vitali. He's one of the old school Meiwaku guys, right? Relax. Diabetes is caused by American foods. I'm safe. Well, you try to be responsible. Hey, I'm good with bananas. Like I say, banana bread and coffee. Try it and get back to me. Seriously, you will thank me. But yeah, Star Wars Appreciation Day in Tokyo. Good segue, because we're coming. Jar Jar Binks is related to that. So yes. What do I think of Vitaly getting sentenced in the Philippines? I didn't know that he was sentenced in the Philippines, and I don't know what for. I'm not surprised. I'm kind of surprised in a way that I suppose he should be glad that Duterte isn't the president there anymore, because they'd probably find him. We know what happened to lawbreakers under him. I don't know. I have no real image. I'm sure that the prisons there, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person with a nicer prison system. To which Yoni, I think, was saying that Scandinavian prisons are actually like delightful. Yes, as freaking hilarious. I'm missing something there. Victor says if he runs into them, he's going to jail. Yes, that is freaking hilarious. And he said that on his stream. Yes, it was freaking hilarious. Victor saying that if I meet the guy, I'm going to jail. You say that in America, it can only mean that you're going to shoot him. In Japan, it doesn't mean that. But the fact that I do hope that Victor will do as he's done before. If he sees the guy, he will turn on his body camera. Normally in America, when the police turn off the body cameras when they attack people. But I do respect that time, how when Victor saw what looked like a host or a pimp or something beating up a hostess, how he turned on his body camera and then attacked the person. And then in the middle of attacking the host to defend the woman attacked him, which is why you just don't get involved in shit. But I do respect the hell out of it, and that's why I love Victor. He's a great guy. All of that stuff. Aren't jails all bad? Yeah, I would assume that jails are bad. Turkish jails. I'm pretty sure Turkish, if there's, there would be an interesting scale. What is the international scale of jails, and where does Japan fit on that? There's got to be something on the internet. There has to be a ranking of like countries you do not want to be jailed. Turkey has a certain reputation. I think Sadiq's probably aware of. I'd say Turkey is very low on the list of places. There are maybe some people want to end up in a Turkish jail, if that's your thing. But for me, no, I don't want to end up in a Turkish jail. Yes. Kerbestanchi answered Radri on his comment. A raised yen wouldn't do much, as those people don't travel much on their own dime. I don't even know how they're getting around. And you're right. It's not as simple as that. We should make a meme that Japanese do not have bananas and they are rare and they've never tasted them. Yeah, well, you can't, because Tokyo bananas are like the thing. But there we go. I'd love to hear about how. Have I heard about used Harvey AI? Or have I heard about or used Harvey AI? I was thinking to apply to the company. I'm curious. I have not, and I follow a lot of AI companies. Maybe I have, and it's just not registering. Well, what type of? I'm curious to hear more. In fact, maybe even like DM me or something, because I'm kind of curious to look at it. I work tangentially to AI stuff, and I do follow it just out of my own interest quite a lot. I could do this whole thing could be nothing but talking about AI. But yeah, I kind of don't, because I try to keep my subject matter away from work. But yeah, I'd be very curious to hear more about that. It sounds super cool. Victor's a law-abiding citizen. That's how Victor is innocent until proven guilty, and no one saw nothing, and that's how he stays out of jail. So there we go. Morihamada Matsumoto law firm, use them and work with them. Okay, Javier, so they're like a legal AI thing. I mean, I want to say, Morihamada is one of the big four law firms in Japan. They're lovely people. I don't know that necessarily their legal tech is the best, but there again, that is interesting. I'm fascinated. In fact, I'd really appreciate, Dan H, if you are able to DM me more about it, because I'd like to look into it. But yeah, domain-specific AI for law firm. Thank you, Sadiq. Looked it up. Professional service providers in the Fortune 500. You know what? The reason I don't know about it is, although if you work at a law firm, they'll get all the best, coolest, most expensive lawyer helping tools that you can get. Whereas when you join a company and you work in-house and you're in back office, you basically everything is on Post-its. Seriously, when I worked at a law firm, and I used to work at probably the biggest international law firm in Tokyo, and we had the best document searching, the best intel. And this is like 20 years ago. We had all this tech, so they're using AI and everything right now. Now, even when you work for big, famous, well-paid companies, when you're doing in-house law, you're basically like scratching. It's Post-it notes and writing on the back of your hand and stuff like that. So we don't get to use those cool tools. But there we go. BGP. How am I living? I'm feeling good. I'm living good. I hope you're doing the same. Great to have you in the comments. Anyway, let's get back into it, because Victor is still not in jail, and we have. It's already half an hour into the show, and all I've talked about is bananas and Victor not being in jail. Productivity is plummeting on this live stream. Let's do the next one. So yeah, this is all in reverse order. These are the last tweets that I did. So yes, a lot of tweets at the moment, a lot of news about how Japan is negotiating with the Trump administration. What's Japan? Japan's got like a 24% tariff on everything. It was going to be 25%, but then Japan said, we're giving you like $1 trillion for the SoftBank investment, which is honestly a bunch of BS. But, he said, hey, don't you like Masayoshi Son? And they said, okay, 24%. And Japan's like, yes, we won. And Japan's like first in line to do a deal. And America kind of half is like, oh yeah, we're going to show everybody that we can do a good deal with Japan. And it's going to go very, very bigly. But then at the same time, Trump's also made a big deal about believing that, he can save Detroit from, Honda Civics. He's basically, his view of international trade is basically frozen in a mix of the 19th century American isolationism and 1970s, rising sun, Japanese, cars taking over the American car market. And so he has these irrational things against Japan. I mean, the first thing he told Shinzo Abe was, I still haven't forgotten Pearl Harbor. So I don't really know how this is going to go. America is, of course, pressuring Japan to increase its defense spending, which it's doing. It's always had a cap of 1% of GDP on spending on the self-defense forces, which it increased. And it took a lot to sort of get the sort of okay to increase spending. And they're going above 2%. They're heading to 3%. And remember, Japan does spend, in terms of spending, it's not officially a military, but if it was a military, it's based on spending, it's the fourth biggest or most high spending military in the world. It's extremely inefficient in the way that it spends. It literally spends money to take like F-35s and to disable them so that they can't fly long range. They pay to modify the planes to remove the fuel tanks so that they can only fly defensively short distances away from Japan instead of the long distance tanks, which would make them aggressive military craft. By disabling all the awesome tech and long range of all the equipment that it buys, they then make them compatible with being a self-defense force that is not a military force. So Japan actually pays for everything twice. They pay to buy the awesome military equipment, and then they pay again to make it crap. And that is how Japan gets to spend so much money on its military. And they're having trouble with recruiting, but they are spending more and more money. Including, I guess if the Chinese can buy some Ukrainian casinos, like aircraft carriers, which they said they were going to refurbish into casinos and then actually refurbish into real aircraft carriers, then Japan is allowed to get a ship that they claim is going to be a hospital transport carrier for helicopters, and then put F-35s all over it and say, okay, it was an aircraft carrier. So Japan's doing a lot of stuff on defense, but in any case, there is this idea that And Trump always says, "Oh, Japan, all the countries ripping us off. That we're paying for all of their defense, putting our troops on their soil, and they're getting all the benefit of it, of us spending all our money, and they should be paying us their protection money." Well, for what it's worth, this has been pulled on Japan multiple times, including by Trump in the first term. And Japan pays 75% of the expenses of the U.S. bases in Japan. And remember, I'm pretty sure Japan has the largest U.S. overseas presence of any country. I think there are more bases in Japan than there are in Germany, for example. So, these are not moderate costs. And these bases were originally occupation bases. It's not like Japan invited America over. America invited itself over, but they stayed there. And America, Japan adapted to the situation, realizing, what? I mean, they are occupying us, but at the same time, that means we kind of don't have to spend on the military ourselves. So, yeah, Japan's done well off American defense. But when it came on that, oh, wow, you guys get the benefit of us, having military bases all over the place in your country, which everybody loves. So why don't you pay more for the cost? And Japan used to pay like 20%, 30%. And it's over the years, every time America complains, Japan's like, okay, if we pay you more money, will you shut up? And America says yes. And Japan is currently up to paying 75% of the cost of running US bases in Japan. South Korea pays 40%. European countries pay 30% or less. So Japan is like the absolute, and yet they're pushing Japan. Hey, can you pay some more for the bases? And Trump talking about how Japan's ripping America off on defense again. Those bases are there for America. They're not there for Japan. So, the defense minister is saying, when we talk about the deficit, which by the way, if you talk about the trade balance, that is literally Japan paying America for doing what it already kind of does. So that is in favor of transferring money from Japan to America, but they're saying that that's not going to be part of the deal, and I think Japan's already way ahead of everywhere else on that. That said, where was it? Trump told Japan he wants to bring the trade deficit down to zero, which just basically means it's like Lesotho sells diamonds to America. Even though it still is a pretty poor country overall, and somehow, to get, which is why they have the highest tariff rates, because they sell more expensive stuff than they buy from America. They're going to have to buy the diamonds back from America, basically, to get a deficit of zero. So with Japan, I don't, what is Japan going to buy from America to cancel out the deficit? I didn't realize the deficit was actually even that bad at this point. Given that Japan itself doesn't really manufacture or export directly. Most of the stuff that Japan makes, it makes in China and stuff, and Vietnam nowadays anyway. But yeah, I guess, sorry kids, we're going to have to buy lots of guns. I mean, that's about the only way I can figure out that Japan can buy stuff from America to even out the trade debt. Also, apparently the Japanese Prime Minister has vowed to America that yes, we will look into non-tariff barriers to autos in US talks. It is worth talking about non-tariff barriers. There are non-tariff barriers. And even kind of legitimate ones. Like, for example, if you've ever worked in product manufacturing for Japan, like electrical appliances or manufacturing, Japan takes every international standard for like tire size or window size or, stuff like this, but also electric safety and so on. And it creates a Japanese version of those standards that's slightly different, that requires you to make a slight adjustment, which means that one product that you could export based on the same ISO standard to every country, in the world, get stopped at the border in Japan, because you have to, and one example that I've worked with is, for example, for electric safety. Electrical appliances in Japan, you've noticed in the wall, most plugs only have like 2 sockets. They don't have an earth plug. And it's basically that a lot of the plugs in Japan are wired differently, where they don't need that. But instead of that, you've got to have double insulation on all the plugs, which means that if you want to export like an electronic plug-in product to Japan, you've got to rewire all the plugs on the appliances. And that's the kind of thing that having a different standard that is ostensibly for safety, it does actually make it more convenient, if you ask me, but it requires all the manufacturers to modify their products when they go to Japan. And some companies will just say, well, it's not worth the trouble of us making a special separate Japanese version, so they don't make it. So the domestic manufacturers in Japan don't have to compete. It's a non-tariff barrier to trading in Japan. So, Japan does have lots of these sorts of things, and there are lots of legitimate ones, including like additional safety standards. A lot of countries have this with food, for example. They have food safety standards, which when they differ from America, like when America had mad cow disease and wasn't screening properly for mad cow disease, a lot of countries banned American beef. those safety requirements are non-tariff barriers. So, America complains about them because they don't believe any country should have safety standards, or we should have the same kind of food that Americans eat, which is working out really well for them. So yeah, they're gonna look into non-tariff barriers to autos in US talks. But here's the thing: there are legitimate non-tariff barriers, like there are safety standards and so on that differ, and there are legitimate non-tariff barriers, like how ugly the freaking cars are and how stupid they are and how they're too big to fit on the roads. And literally, Americans have cited how like Japanese car parking spaces not being able to fit, Ford F-150s is a non-trade barrier. And Japan needs to make all of its toll gates and car parks big enough to accommodate the ridiculously enormous American cars that won't fit on the roads in Japan. And I'd say, the problem of your cars being too fugly to own or be seen in, I mean, does Japan really have to accommodate Cybertrucks? So to me, and just the fact that so many American cars, I mean, I love the Corvette C8. I love the Jeep Wrangler. You see them around here. They're good American cars, but they're also just a whole bunch of cars, which for a long time, just in terms of quality and efficiency and so on, and they're not made to Japanese tastes. Plus, they drive on the wrong freaking side of the road. And driving on the wrong side of the road is also kind of is something that can be quoted as a non-tariff barrier. I mean, because most American cars, the reason you can't buy American cars like very easily in Australia or New Zealand or UK or Japan is because the American car makers can't be bothered. When they've got like 400 million customers in America, they don't want to switch the steering wheel over to the other side of the car. And then they're like, and then they say, oh, Japan's just shutting us out. No, you're just being stupid. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, when I hear that there are non-tariff barriers to autos, there are some legitimate ones, but the main one is honestly just that your cars are shit, bro. And trying to, improve things in America by shutting out, imported cars, which it looks like is going to happen. So America is going to not have anything except US-made US autos. I don't know. I could see if that had happened 50 years ago, America would probably look like Havana today. Again, there are some good American cars and they have progressed a little bit, but I'd think that even where American cars have improved and progressed, it's probably partly because of the competition with well-made cars from Japan and Korea and, and Europe and so on. And even the Chinese cars, which were, even 10 years ago, you'd see car reviews of, what laughable imitation crap Chinese cars were, just as Japanese cars were probably for a time. And they're getting really good now. So, it's an interesting thing. Japan is looking into the problem of basically American cars being too ugly to be seen with. And we'll try to get right on that and do something about it. So that's a good thing. We're at 11:12. I'm going to have to speed up a little bit, I guess. ChatGPT, if you've been using ChatGPT, I noticed I've been using ChatGPT, and all of a sudden they switched on the ability for it to remember everything that you've ever said to it, and to refer to you by name, and bring up everything it ever knows about you, which is both charming, and it's like, oh wow, now you really feel like my custom assistant, and you really know me, and also, were you listening to me? Were you like storing all this shit this whole time? And I don't remember agreeing to a privacy notice where I said that you could like store all my personal information. Like, now I've got to go back and think, is there anything I need to like go back and like literally, like for example, not just pornography searches. I'm talking about things like, for example, when I got diagnosed with cancer, I put all my medical records into ChatGPT. I mean, this was admittedly a stupid thing to do because I know that they do use the inputs of users for retraining and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, if all my stuff goes into a retraining mess and makes it smarter at reading medical charts, whatever. But I didn't think it was going to actually tag it to my identity and then quote back, hey, that hilarious time when you thought you had cancer and your chart had this funny thing. I wasn't expecting that. And I'd like to think if it was handling that type of information in that way, that at least like pointed out to me, So yeah, some people find it creepy. Yes. And it does make me think, do I have to go back and, so what do you remember about me, and what stuff, honestly, am I not comfortable about you keeping on me? Because that's information, I don't know, it could sell or share with other people or whatever. So, for all those sorts of, from the start of that. So all of those things, I'm sort of like, it's cool, but at the same time, wait a minute. It's literally like, okay, I think the real rule of thumb of ChatGPT and other things is you have to look at it like it's a person at a company now. And you have to deal with it like it's a person and realize that it's going to remember all that stuff about you. and can talk to other people and stuff like that. And you have to be very clear about what's confidential and what's not, and just decide what you're going to share and what you're not going to share. It's not just on the one hand, it feels more personalized, but on the other hand, it's not personal, but it is. At the same time, it's amazing. The fact it knows that I make music streams and how I like to edit the track lists and how I, have a YouTube channel and all this sorts of stuff. It's actually, it was really cool going through what it knows about me and the tips and stuff it can give me. But it is a thing that they've switched that on. AI continues to be amazing. Speaking of China, I mean, I got to say, the news on the BBC, the adorable, slightly Black Mirror-ish, but not quite. I mean, none of the robots in this half marathon had machine guns that I could see anyway. But in Beijing, was it? In China, somewhere in China today, in a half marathon. Apparently, it had people and robots. They had the first ever robot. And maybe this has happened somewhere before, but apparently it was the 21 humanoid robots, bipedal robots, running a half marathon in a race, also with people. And the fastest robot got across the line in 2 hours and 40. Now, I've run a few half marathons now, and I normally run about 145. I've run 130. It's the fastest. But I mean, 240, plenty of people run 240, 2 hours 40. That's a respectable human running time. So the fact that they have already bipedal robots that can run a full half marathon, 21 kilometers distance, in 2 hours 40, that's getting into the realm of, I would love to watch that. I mean, that's actually just to watch the sort of technology. Perfect example that even lawyers don't know, especially lawyers don't read the terms of service. I mean, honestly, coming back on the ChatGPT thing, but also relevant to this sort of thing. The terms of service. I mean, there's a South Park episode where they read all the Apple terms and then they click no at the end of it, which is correct. But software licenses that are basically non-negotiable and wrapped in with services that you're using, they're called shrink wrap licenses. They're literally boxed with the software when you used to buy the floppy disks or whatever, and they're underneath the wrap of the box, and as soon as you break the wrapping on the box, you're deemed to have accepted the contract. So basically, it's just they're just contracts that you're just deemed to accept just by using the thing. And lawyers know that these are not, you don't get to call up Microsoft and negotiate their shrink wrap license agreement before you open your Windows box. And these services are the same. Most lawyers, I mean, you should, if you're going to use it for any purpose that had like a business purpose where there's actual potential risk involved, sure, you should pay a lawyer to go look at it for you. But so as a lawyer, I can tell you, I know when it's a waste of time reading something, and that I understand I'm probably fucked, but I didn't realize I was that fucked. So sometimes you just find things out as you go along. But yeah, lawyers actually absolutely know reading the terms of service. It's probably good to be informed, but no one really does that. Anyway, the robots, amazing. I would love to watch this. And the fact that they have a competition where they can do this. I mean, this is the sort of thing I wish Japan would be doing and America should be doing. And the fact that this is happening in China is kind of where, declaring a trade war makes sense. And politically, there's probably, China's never been open to trade itself with other countries. You haven't been able to operate companies in China without it being majority local owned and all sorts of other barriers. But people in China, the engineering talent and innovation and just the people who are doing this in China are awesome and cool. The people in China who I work with are awesome and smart and great people. And I don't know, and humanity, this is like both, there are terrifying aspects to this, but the techno-optimist inside me sees that, man, we're having half marathons of bipedal robots running respectable times and probably in short order running like competitive times. I'm kind of like, that's awesome. I'm really down for that. I promised Jar Jar Binks. I give you Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is coming into Fortnite. I play Fortnite with the lad. Played a few rounds with him today. I basically follow around behind him. I hide in bushes. I carry basically supplies and medical kits, and I just hide. And he wipes everybody out. Almost all my victory royals in Fortnite are basically my son beating every two-person teams while I basically hide in a corner, quivering, trying not to get shot. I only get shot before the end, and he just wipes the floor with everybody else, and then I get the credit for the win. Happened multiple times today. But yes, Fortnite is coming. Right now, there's the Star Wars event happening in Japan. They're having the Star Wars, what do they call it again? The Star Wars Festival thing, whatever. And they're doing a lot of big Star Wars announcements, including there's from May 2nd, there's going to be a big Star Wars chapter in Fortnite, which is a big deal. But what I really love is that Jar Jar Binks is going to be a character, and he's going to be a character as the Sith Lord Jar Jar Binks. I don't know if any of you have come across the theory that Jar Jar Binks was actually intended to be a Sith in the original, in the Phantom Menace episode, and that George Lucas was basically queuing up. It's kind of a Japanese movie trope. Remember that Star Wars itself was, of course, based on the Hidden Castle, a Kurosawa movie. And this trope about the guy who acts like a fool, but is really like the old revenge samurai who acts like a drunken fool and whatever. And, just like C-3PO and R2-D2 are playing that role in the original Star Wars movies, and which was based directly off their equivalent human characters in the original Japanese movies. And when he was doing when he made the Phantom Menace, he had this idea of having this entertainment sidekick sort of character who'd be ridiculous. But there was this thing where there was something going on with Jar Jar Binks, which a lot of people noticed. Like when you look at all the scenes of Jar Jar Binks, where he's falling over and acting foolish and whatever, there's stuff which was deliberately, clearly put there, hinting that he actually is like acting this way, and it was all building up to this idea that there was going to be some big reveal, that the big Darth Vader is Luke's father reveal of the second episode of the original trilogy. In the second trilogy, Jar Jar Binks was going to come out as a Sith and was going to be like the actual Darth Jar Jar. And this is going to be the huge shock that this CG character, which itself was extremely innovative at the time, the idea of a major character being CG, and the idea that this character is going to be sort of pivotal to the development of Darth Vader, of having this sidekick, who is sort of manipulating and, coaxing him towards the dark side of the Force, which would have been brilliant. And the whole backlash against Jar Jar, yes, everybody hated Jar Jar. Nobody liked Jar Jar. I mean, but at the same time, if that's where they were going with it, I really wish that Lucas hadn't caved in to the hate against Jar Jar, and frankly, the disappointment around the Phantom Menace, and had actually held on and done what I'm convinced he meant to do, which was to reveal Jar Jar as a Sith in the second episode. But he didn't. Jar Jar just got written down into, the voice actor became traumatized from all the bullying. And everyone who was so angry about Phantom Menace was basically, we were angry because we waited 20, 30 years and we expected that a new Star Wars movie would make us as excited as we were watching it as 6-year-olds. And when we weren't, when we discovered, it made us all discover that we are not 6-year-olds. We are 46-year-olds and we're not kids anymore. And we're just, angry, depressed, middle-aged people. And that's more a reflection on I think the anger at Phantom Menace was more a reflection on the people watching it. And the proof of that is people like my kid who were watching the original movies like fresh without the background, loved it, watch the original Star Wars movies with a kid. And which is exactly who I was when I was watching the original Star Wars movies. And you'll see that I think they were harshly judged by people my age. Yeah, and while I didn't like Jar Jar, I really would have loved the art, which I'm convinced there are YouTube videos about this, there are blogs about this that go into a lot of detail. It's almost certain that he was supposed to be, as much as I love Darth Maul, great character, I was sure that he was going to be the new reveal Sith character. And when they changed that idea, it ruined an already. It would have been a great reveal. So the fact that in Star Wars, which is backed by Disney, which owns Star Wars now, which, George Lucas thinks he sold his child into prostitution or something, giving it to Disney, but what can you do? This is canon, I believe. I believe that they're actually doing what they should have done all along. So I am most excited with the new upcoming Fortnite season that we have Jar Jar Binks, and that Jar Jar Binks is the Sith that I believe he was always supposed to be, and I think that is awesome. So there we go, and I will not apologize. 5 minutes to go. I can cover this. What else have we got here? So yes, we've got non-tariff barriers, which I think are just making American cars not look fugly. We have AR glasses. Oh yes, I assume the PM will be issuing augmented reality glasses so that American cars don't look like pieces of crap. That wasn't a very nice way to put it. Geez, I should be nicer. I think I was in a snarky mood when I was going through the topics earlier today. Osaka is a theme park. Osaka's second city is a dining and entertainment destination. Osaka is wonderful. I love Osaka people. I love the atmosphere of the city. It's a great place to go. It is Japan's third biggest city. It is not Japan's second biggest city. Yokohama is Japan's second biggest city. And I know if you're in Kansai, if you, which again is people. So Yokohama is part of Tokyo. Yokohama is Tokyo in the same way that Kyoto is Osaka, right? You can't say that. You can't tell us on the one hand that we can't lump Kansai together, and then at the same time say that Yokohama and Tokyo are practically the same thing. Yes, they're very close together, but Yokohama is distinct. People who live in Yokohama, just like people who live in Kyoto, will not let you tell them that they are Osaka people. People in Yokohama are proud of being from Yokohama. And Yokohama is the second biggest city in Japan. It's 5.5 million people. It's the same population as New Zealand. Osaka is number 3. They're like 3 million people. It's a great city, but always saying that, Osaka calling itself Japan's second city is like a midget wearing platform shoes claiming to be 6 feet tall. Nothing again. Embrace who you are. They are Japan's third city and they're an awesome third city, but pretending to be like they're the second city, like, no, you're not that tall. Osaka, you're great, but you don't need the platform shoes, seriously. And everyone should go there. It's a wonderful city. I don't know about going to the expo, but yeah, it's a cool city. Everybody saw this news about Cambridge University discovered life. I won't go into too much detail, but if you're into this news, I follow a lot of space blogs. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And Cambridge University basically, and a lot of people even responded to me that even people from Cambridge University who saw all the fine print associated with the story, it's exciting. It's great news that they found, DMD and DMS. No marijuana found, no THC, just DMD and DMS. I wonder what happened if they discover THC in the atmosphere of an exoplanet. I imagine some people put together funding for a flight immediately, an atmosphere of pure THC. They found some chemicals which on Earth are associated with biomarkers, but have been found in comets and so on in space, not associated with biology. And, they're not, and it's only a 3 sigma result. So the idea that the Cambridge University webpage said, we found life, everyone, when they didn't, and they didn't meet scientific standards for saying that in that way out loud is kind of BS. It's kind of the getting into the TikTok craze, but it's still cool, and and again it merits further investigation. But yes, give a thumbs up. Yes, I'm not doing this for any money. I'm literally doing it for thumbs up. So there we go. Eli Lilly, I believe they're the company that is basically holding a gun to the head of people who need insulin. They are offering Ozempic type fat treatments for visceral fat injury. They're going to market it towards people who are not really fat, but they have visceral fat that you can't see and is really bad for them, so that they can sort of cure it that way. I'm kind of worried in a country like Japan, which doesn't have many fat people to start with and does have a lot of slightly too skinny people, that if you start making something like Ozempic, if you start trying to market that too popularly, people who shouldn't be taking that sort of thing will take it. Certainly, it is wonderful that people who have morbid obesity and really need it get access to it. I think that is good. But I think trying to find a way of selling it to people who, wouldn't normally be defined as needing obesity drugs, I worry about that a little bit more in Japan, even though I think it's great. Actually, Japan having a low obesity rate is a great thing. But, I'm a bit worried what might happen with obesity drugs in a place that doesn't have a lot of obese people. Nippon.com basically just spends a long, detailed blog here talking absolute trash about Ikebukuro. And I would join them. I was also an Ikebukuro hater. And even when I live in the corner of Tokyo close to it, I would still refuse to get off of the train there, for the first 3 or 4 years that I lived nearby. It's not total trash. I mean, literally, I think the final paragraph, and they're talking about Otsuka. Otsuka is delightful. I mean, again, they do have seedy aspects and so on, but there are nice parts. But it's the final paragraph. Oh, you're the guy who wrote it. Okay, it's not even a Japanese person. Gianni Simone. Giorgio Simone points out the pervasive smell of sewer mixed with whiff of ramen broth coming out of many of the cheap diners make me wonder that Ikebukuro may even claim the title of smelliest stop on the Yamanote line. Come on, it's not that bad. And seriously, I'm pretty sure there are smellier stops. I can't think immediately right now of what they are. But, yeah, Gianni, you've got it. Ikebukuro is like, yes, I must admit, well, I did have a policy of never getting off there for a long time. I get off there all the time now, and it's not that bad. Adachi's not on the Yamanote line. And in fact, Ikebukuro is kind of the gateway to Adachi, which I realize I'm not helping myself. Although technically, it's really Nippori, but it's, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like they were going a bit too hard on Ikebukuro, even though I do like to make fun of it myself. Japanese hotels apparently were caught and being accused by the JFTC of having a cartel to fix prices to rack up for going back for decades, which is not surprising. A lot of business works like that. There was an earthquake today, first one I felt in ages. We're up on time. I'm going to go through. The old guy rental service is apparently like taking off, and there are lots of heartwarming stories coming out of it that makes me think maybe a Japanese sequel to Pretty Woman involving old men that basically keep you company for half a day. I mean, that would be something that Disney actually wouldn't look, ambivalent about owning. You'd actually get a proper Pretty Woman sequel, I think, with the Oyaji rental. Not sexual. This is the thing about it, which makes it kind of legitimate. Kids already quitting. We're only halfway through the first month of the new fiscal year in Japan. All these Gen Zs just quitting over nothing. They're learning that this is a seller's market and they can do this. The list of examples of kids quitting. Where's the picture? I'll go back over here. The examples that they give. Oh, my company does morning exercises. Get me out of here. I'm quitting. When I was Haizokusaki de, the place that I was assigned to didn't say hello to me, so I quit. Over here, I didn't like the uniform, so I quit. I was forced to do 5 minutes of overtime, so I quit. In fact, let's see. Maybe if I open this up, hopefully we won't get any weird porno links from this. 電話番しかさせてもらえなかった。So, yeah, something about needing to telephone. And the fact that they are only allowed to look at their smartphone on breaks are all quoted as reasons that people quit within 2 weeks of starting their first jobs as university graduates. I don't know. I think the kids are okay. Some yummy baito, some dodgy jobs on the internet. People are robbing Yakuza. That's not a good idea. This one quickly. This woman, Sid Snap YouTube channel. If you are into, and I am not into, but I am through this channel kind of enjoying. Sid Snap. She covers erotic games and manga, and like when I not in a good way. Like she covers the most fucked up content, and I'm sure she's probably deeply broken as a person that she goes through. I have no interest or stomach for the sort of content that she reviews, but she sort of reviews it in a way. I stumbled across some of her videos, and they're like morbidly compelling, where she's like crying, talking about how fucked up she does literally a series of the most fucked up erotic Japanese games that she's ever played, and they were, and it's like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? And she's a great channel, so you should follow her for that. She actually covers the case of Megumi Igarashi in a very news and informative way, and not in a fucked up Aero game reviews type way, and about this woman, this artist who, and her whole story about where she's been literally arrested and put in jail and put on trial for making art out of 3D printing of her genitalia. Which, when you think about all the shrines in Japan, all the festivals in Japan that worship penises, there is a straight up double standard. This one artist makes art, like made a canoe out of her down there, out of her vagina, and was sent to jail and convicted. And they're sure you can't put a mosaic on real life, I suppose, but she wasn't flashing or anything like that. She was literally making like toys and sort of characters and stuff like that, and was getting arrested for it. When she's saying it was her self-expression as an artist, and a lot of people stood up for her on that. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff happening this week, but those are the topics I'm going to cover. I'm going to go and do the after party. Like I said with previous weeks, I'm getting destroyed on Monday mornings. Staying up till 12:30 is too much for me, so I'm only going to go to 12:15. But I'm going to focus on playing as many of your requests as I possibly can. Okay, I like to do stuff. If you want to catch all of my snarky tweets on follow me on Blue Sky, and you can hear me talk about how investigators spent months single-handedly building their case on arresting the first AI-generated porn case in Japan. You can follow all of this after party link. I will put the after party link. Aaron, can you put the after party link? Yeah. We've got I don't know who CDA WGVA, but they all look like great people. Okay, I'm going to put in the link. Waito-san, great to see you, by the way. Link to the after party is inbound. It's coming. I'm just going to grab it now and put it in the chat. Then you can keep me company over there, and I'm going to be playing all of your requests. So, it is here. Oh, there it is. Aaron beat me to it. So go see you over there, and thank you for keeping me company. Remember, you can follow me on Blue Sky. See you next week, same time, same bat channel. Remember to like the video. Do appreciate it. Appreciate you, Atomic Tom, Eric Bailey, all the people I didn't say hello to. Void Theft, thank you for hanging by. And the after party last week, I explained in the beginning, the Echo, the StreamYard's sound automated controls kicked in, even though I had unchecked them. It was a bug which I reported to the service. It caused a whole bunch of echo cancellation, which ruined the music sound, which destroyed the stream last week. So I just deleted the stream. Boom. Peace. Have a banana. See you on the other stream. See you on the music stream.